So for today's project, we are going to be making these cute little Christmas ornaments. Double-sided, they've got vellum in the middle, and they are 3D. For the project, I use cardstock, and these ornaments right here, those are HTV. And also the snowflakes are HTV as well. So we're going to be using a Cricut Joy Xtra, but you can use any of the Cricut machines. I have HTV, and with our HTV, I'm going to be using the Cricut Easy Press, the mini Easy Press. That's what I'm going to use to press these on. Got my heating pad for the press, a little piece of Teflon sheet that I've cut down, and then just a little piece of butcher paper. We have our cutting mats. We've got a standard grip mat and a light grip mat. For the glue, I'm using Barely Art Precision Craft glue. I have vellum paper, like I said, that's going to go in the middle. Your weeding tools, brayer. I have some foam square dots that we're going to be using. Cardstock of your choice, whatever color that you like. But I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get started so I can show you how easy these are to make. Okay, so to make this project, we're going to go ahead and bring in the SVG. You can click on Canvas or you can click on New Project. Upload image, and wherever you have stored your the free SVG from the freebie library, you're going to go ahead and go to that folder. I have mine already labeled. Click on your SVG, open, upload, and then click on it to add it to your canvas. So before I forget, I want to go ahead and change Cricut Joy Xtra. That's what I'm using for my ornament. Okay, so you can take a look at this design right here. It came in, it's already the size how I designed it, which is 5.5 inches tall. You can make it smaller if you wanted to. Just beware that the smaller you go, you may have more difficulty cutting out your little pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this right here. And you can take a look at your layers panel and see that the individual ornament colors that you see here, they are grouped, they are not attached. The reason that I did that is if you wanted to cut them individually rather than keeping them together to maybe save vinyl, you can. But I am going to cut them, and I'm going to actually attach all of them. And like I said, I might be wasting a little bit of vinyl, but it helps for me to see where I need to place them. Even though I'm going to be placing them individually, when it comes to time to put them on the actual ornaments, I don't have to think so hard. And I'm all about trying to keep things so that my brain doesn't have to work real hard. So I'm going to click on this right here. This is the blue group. I'm going to come down here and click Attach. And if you don't know why I'm doing that, let me show you here. If we go to Make, show one of these other ornaments here. So for example, your yellow ones, because they are not attached, they're going to cut individually, which like I said, isn't a big deal. If that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But I'm choosing to attach them. Okay, so we got the blue ones already. Let's click on the red, come down and click Attach. I'm just going to scroll through here, click Attach, and attach, and the green ones are already done there. I think that's all of them. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the snowflakes here. They are individual, but I'm going to attach them because I want them to cut together. And I think that's all. So if that's, well, I take that back. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to attach these white strips right here, which these are just cardstock. And again, it doesn't matter how they cut. I'm just going to go ahead and attach them. Let me undo that. I think it needs to be ungrouped here. Is it in something? Nope. I'm just going to go ahead and attach it, and then I'll send that to the back. There we go. Okay. So now if you wanted to add a name to this, we can go ahead and click on our text here. And I'm going to add Miss Smith right in here. I'm just going to do a teacher's name. Now I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to do my cap locks, Miss Smith. And the font that I'm going to use, these are my fonts here. Cricut fonts are with Cricut Access. Some of them are free, but I'm going to be using one of the fonts that I have installed on my computer. So I need to go to my system font. And the font that I want is called Sunday. This one here. Okay, and I'm going to change this to white. Oh, and also on your color sync over here, you can see I have a little bit different colors because the circle right here, this is the vellum. I have that a slightly different color. That's going to be obviously cut out of vellum, so that doesn't need to be on the same page as my cardstock when I get ready to cut it. It's just something easier so that you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to think so hard. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to curve this. Bring my screen a little bit closer here so you can see better. Let's go ahead and add a curve to this. That's way too big, but let's see. Bring this over here. Yeah. So you can just play with this, whatever looks good for you. Tilt it a little bit more, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger. And I think I want my letters to be a little bit closer. And then I can make it bigger again. Now to me, this, where the period is and the S are just too far apart. So I'm going to fix that manually. Let me find the word over here. Bring that in again closer. Oops. Go ahead and hide those snowflakes so I don't grab them when I'm over here. Okay, so one tip it'll tell you if you want to remember the name of this font, because I know that you can click on it and it's going to show you right up here. Duplicate this so that I can remember, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click Advanced and Ungroup Letters, and now it will no longer tell you what the font is. So that's just a little tip if you like to remember the names of the fonts that you use for your projects. So now I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab this period here, and again, let me get closer. Sometimes it's easier to get closer, and I'm just going to move this over. So I think it needs to be closer. Click on this S, this one here, and sometimes Cricut Design Space doesn't like you to click on individual letters, so sometimes it's easier if you just use your arrow key. Just move it to how you think it looks better. And I'm going to do the same thing with this M right here. See, I think that looks better. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to grab all of these. I clicked one, hold my Shift button, and go through and grab all of them until I have the entire name. And then I'm going to click on Group. And then I can move it again if I need to. I need to tilt it a little bit more. See if I can make it a little bit bigger. And since we ungroup them, you can no longer use the font like this one here. I can use this to make it bigger. But for this one, I have to actually use the arrows to increase it. Or the little bars right here. Okay, I think that looks good. Let me bring back these snowflakes to see how it looks. Okay, I think that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and hide this. I don't want to delete it because I want to remember which one it is. So looking at our project right here, the snowflakes and the little ornaments are going to be cut from HTV, as well as this name right here. I'm going to be using white HTV for those. Then your colored ornaments, obviously you can use whatever color you want. This right here is going to be a piece of glitter cardstock, and then the rest of it is just cardstock except for that middle piece, which is going to be vellum. So we're all set to go. Let's go ahead and click Make It. We forgot to attach Miss Smith. So let's find Miss Smith and attach it. One thing else I want to do before we go any further is I want to save this. If you've ever lost anything on Cricut Design Space, you know you need to save. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make this. And I like to move my elements around. This is going to be out of HTV. So let's go ahead and do our HTV first. Let me just move this down. And I'm going to put it on this mat here. Now HTV needs to be mirrored, so we're going to go ahead and click on Mirror. And now everything that I move onto this mat will automatically mirror when I move it. So I just need to remember that when I put my vinyl on my cutting mat, that I need to remember where these are going to be. So this part is going to be white up here. This obviously is going to be white as well. So I need to, actually probably just put that right up there, and I can put that together. And then as I go through and I move my ornament pieces, so let's say this one right here, I would click on this, move object, go to this mat, hit confirm, and now I need to remember that this piece needs to be yellow HTV. Okay, and then I would go through for each one of these. I don't need to show you each one, but I'm going to tell you that that's what you need to do for all of your HTV pieces. With your vellum, because the Cricut Joy Xtra does not have a vellum setting, I'm going to show you how you can set up your setting so that you can get it to cut. What I did was I went to my Cricut Maker to see what the settings were for vellum, and you can go through, hit continue on here. Now I've already set it up on mine, but I'm going to show you how you can do it on yours. You can browse all materials, and when you type in vellum, it's not going to come up. There is no setting for that. So you'll want to scroll all the way down to the bottom, material setting, click on that. And now what you can do is you can add a new setting. And I did this, I went to, like I said, my Cricut Maker, and I typed in vellum, and I found the settings that the machine had for it. So I went in here and I did add new material, the name. I'm going to do vellum 2 so that I can remember this is what I just did. I want to do save, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my settings in here. And this is set at 239. We're only going to use the fine point blade, and you don't need to double pass. It only needs to cut one time. Then we're going to hit save and done. And now when you go and type it in, this is the one that I already created, but this is what we're going to use right here. Okay. And now it will cut for vellum. So that I'm going to put that on a light grip mat, my piece of vellum. That's how I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out all my materials, and then I'll show you how to put it all together. This is the piece of vellum. I'm just going to go ahead and use my brayer, get that to secure. Get that lined up. Okay. And we're going to flip this over and carefully remove . And if you need to, you can just run it over the edge to make it smooth again. Okay, I couldn't decide which star I wanted, so I cut out one of each. We'll see how they look. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and warm up my Easy Press. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on low. It's just one, when you hit it, just a little bottom light comes on. This is my heat resistant pad that I'm going to be using. And I've got a small piece of butcher paper that I'm going to use. And this is a small piece of Teflon sheet that I just cut off of one of my other ones from my big heat press. And the reason that I'm using this is just in case the HTV wouldn't hit what I'm putting it on. I don't want it to stick to my mat underneath, so that's why I decided to use this. And I am going to iron my little pieces of cardstock before I put my ornament pieces on. And first thing I'm going to do while this is warming up is I'm just going to go ahead and weed all of my HTVs. Okay, now that all my HTV is weeded, I'm going to go ahead and put my snowflakes on first. And I am going to iron this just to see if there's any moisture in it, just to get some of that moisture out. And line this up. And I'm going to cover this, and you don't need to press long, just continuous motion. The Cricut heat guide says 25 seconds, but I'm not doing 25 seconds. Just go over and help it to release. You want to go down slow in case you need to go over it again. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the name on just to get that out of the way. I don't want to forget. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our ornaments on. And I'm going to look at one that I've already done so I know what colors to put where. But I am going to iron over this. Alright, we'll set those aside and we will start to assemble. Turn that off because I don't need that anymore. Go ahead and put this on first. Make sure that they're lined up the correct way. You can tell if they're the wrong way. It won't line up right. Okay, I just have my little foam dots here. Okay. And from watching one of my other crafty friends, Tara from Craft Tara Creates, I saw that if you put a little dot of glue on here, it helps so that when you go to put your pieces together, if you need to move them, you can, because it won't stick automatically. So, following her advice, that's what I'm doing. Push it down there. That's the base. Now we'll go ahead and put the tree on. Same thing, you want to line it up to make sure it's the right way. And put this piece on because I always seem to forget. Make sure it's the right way. Alright, and we got the next part of the tree. I debated when I was making them, I couldn't decide if I wanted them to do dots under each one or to glue under each one. So I experimented. Like you can see this one I glued it on. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do dots on all of them. Because this one here, I glued that one on too. But in the end, I ended up liking the ones that I did the dots in between each one of them. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, now let's figure out which star we like better. This one. Or the gold one. I think that one. This one I'm just going to put the dot right on the tree instead of putting it on the back of the star. Makes it a little bit easier for your placement. Okay, and now we're going to glue on these little pieces here. Actually, let's do the vellum first. Let's go ahead and turn this over. And I'm just going to put glue all the way around this. Don't want it to squish out. And then line it up. I guess that part didn't need it up there. And then we'll put the dots on this. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and glue these on. And just by looking at one of the other ones that I did, that's how I'm going to remember which way they line up. And this, it's nice about this glue is it dries clear, so if you have a little bit that seeps out, you don't have to worry about it. I still like to wipe it off. And there we go. There is our cute little ornament. Put a little tag in there, or a little hanger. I think this would be cute. Any color that you want to do. You could put the teacher's name on here. You could actually make this as a gift tag if you wanted to. Write a cute little note on the back of it. But that's it, you guys. If you like this project, let me know. Make sure you share it with all your other crafty friends. And if you guys make this, I would love to see it. Please come on over to the Facebook group and show it off, because you know I love seeing what you guys make. You can find this week's freebie in the freebie library. It is design number 183. But that's it for today's project, guys. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, like I said, drop them in the comments below. But thanks for being here.